Welcome back to a conversation about. Today we are joined by singer, songwriter, very talented Priscilla Camelia. Hello, thank you for coming on.
Hi,
It's nice to see you
thank
again.
you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So we don't have like a very specific topic. I think we're just gonna let the conversation flow. But I do want to start by asking you about music. I haven't seen you since high school, and a lot has changed since then for the both of us. And primarily, you are like a official talented musician. So I'd like to learn a little bit more about that to begin with. Like, how does that transition happen from high school to musician?
I've always loved, I still love singing. I've always loved it. I don't know. It's something that as a young child, I've always had a passion for. I'm a very shy person, I guess you could say. And in high school, I did like a lot of theater and stuff like that involved, a lot of audience, a lot of people watching and stuff like that. And I guess whenever I was in theater, I never really got like the main roles. I did get a main role once, but it wasn't like a big show. We didn't perform it in the big auditorium. It was like in this, they call it like a black box,
Okay.
um, small little room. I guess because I just wasn't ready for it. I definitely would have loved to have a main role, but I guess I wasn't 100% um with my voice because
Mhm.
there was a lot of musicals that I was like, okay, yeah, I want to, sing the main role for this one. Like I want to be the princess for this one, or High School Musical. There was like a lot of different kind of uh shows and stuff that we did, and they were mostly musicals, but every single time I would audition, it was just like a big no for me. They would always put me like in the one of the dancers and like the background singers and stuff, which was okay. I loved it, and not a lot of people like that. If they don't There's a lot of people that are like, okay, if I don't get like the main role, if I don't get someone like a one of the main characters, like I don't want to do it. But for me, it was kind of like, okay, this is okay. I actually like it. I enjoy. I'm having fun. I'm like with friends, and I'm not. Maybe this is actually a good thing because I can get nervous and probably ruin the whole show for people. So it was probably like, let me just take little baby steps. And so it all started with high school theater, and then just after I graduated, I remember I posted this video of me singing, and this record label contacted me.
Wow.
And it was crazy. It was literally like a 10-second clip, and I sang a song from Demi Lovato.
Okay.
And literally like 15 seconds. And someone sent me a DM like the day after, and they were like, hey, we would like to work with you and blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was fake. I thought it was like a fake
Yeah.
account. I was like, okay, this is actually not fake. I started like, chit chatting with them.
Mhm.
And I eventually gave them my number, which was probably not the safest thing to do. But I was like, okay, I want to know if this is real or not.
Mhm.
Um, and we were on the phone for a couple of hours. And it turned out to be real. And I was very excited. But the record label is here in Mexico. So that was like what I was stressing about then. Because I was like, oh crap, like what am I gonna do? I live in Texas, record labels here in Jalisco. I was like, crap, I had to talk to my mom. I eventually talked to my mom, and she was so excited. She was like, no, yes, go move to Mexico. I have family here. So it wasn't like, I'm not
Okay.
here by myself.
Mhm.
Um, so that's kind of how it all began. It's just someone, reached out to me. Yeah.
That kind of sounds like a musician's dream, though. Like, you get viral off of or famous off of like one video, and then you go and live a rock star life. That's awesome. I'm excited for you. That's awesome that that happened. So, like, You mentioned like not having at times the main role in theater and stuff, and like doing black box, black, that's what it's called, right? Black box.
Yeah, black box.
Yeah. So how do how do you transition that into like now making your own music videos? Like now you are like the center of attention. Was it like still like, do you think those baby steps helped you get there, or is it like, was it a little intimidating at first?
100% those baby steps did lead me to where I am now, because I feel like if I didn't have like those experiences, I would definitely be a whole mess in front of a camera. Yeah, my life now is very different. I mean, I'm not like this big artist, nothing like that, but I mean, I make my own music because, I love to sing and I love to just connect with like the people who like my music and like what I'm doing. It's like a really great feeling. But yeah, definitely not having the main role was an okay for me. It did. Well, I remember this one show where I did have, I guess it was a main role, but like I said, it was like in a small little room, literally. It was a lot of pressure. It was because I felt like I was gonna forget all my lines. So I was like, crap,
Yeah.
this is really scary. But I actually did get out of character. This like it was during the middle of the show. I got out of character because I laughed. I freaking laughed. And everyone, I mean, I don't think anybody noticed, but I did giggle a little bit. And when, I was like, okay, I have to get back in character. I can't just, because my character was, I was supposed to be like a mad teacher or something like that, like a grouchy teacher or something like that. And yeah, I laughed because I don't know, I was like slamming on the table and stuff, and that was part of like the show. Um, and yeah, I had to slam on the table and like yell at kids and stuff. And I giggled at some point. I was like, oh crap, no, to focus. But answering your question, yeah, it did help me a lot.
I remember in high school, so I did debate in high school. I remember the first time I had to speak in front of like an audience or a judge or someone that was like going to be grading me at like a tournament or something. I was supposed to speak for 7 minutes and I spoke for like a minute and 5 seconds, and half of that time I was silent, about to cry. Um, and it was like, I think about it now and I'm like, I went like, of course we're not bragging, right? But like I went off to like do a TED talk for 10 minutes, and it's like we've come a long way. Like even then, like I was really nervous for that, but like we've come a long way. So like it's easy at first to think like it's really intimidating and really scary when you're in front of people. Like I totally get that. And like the breaking out of character and stuff, like I totally get that. Like from a different perspective. Um,
Yeah,
but like it is those baby steps that help us get there. Because like even to this day, like anytime I have to speak in front of people, like I still get nervous, and like people will ask me, like how do you do it, how do you talk in front of people, like how do you talk to people? It's like, well, I mean, I think you still get nervous a little bit, and if you're like 100% comfortable that everything's gonna be okay, like I don't know if that's like the best way to go. Like sometimes you always have to be a little nervous because you don't know what's gonna happen, and you got to be able to
exactly.
like adapt to what's going on, even if it
Yeah,
is good.
I definitely agree. I remember I actually performed at like this campaign closing kind of thing. And I remember I had to prepare myself 2 weeks before. Like they told me 2 weeks before, hey, you're gonna be, closing off the show at this campaign or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. What song am I gonna sing? Like what am I supposed to do? What am I gonna wear and stuff like that. I was kind of like stressing over that too. And they were just telling me, oh, just don't get nervous. You're gonna have the opportunity to like sing. I guess it was like whenever everyone's getting everything ready in the stage and blah blah. Like before the campaign happened, there was people cleaning the benches and stuff, and I got to. I guess it was like a rehearsal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you get to rehearse it before you go on. So don't worry, don't stress, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. Then they told me, okay, and then you're gonna be wearing this, and then you're gonna perform like this. Here's like a little, I guess, guideline or whatever. So they gave me like this paper, and they're like, okay, you're gonna go here first, here first. I'm like, oh my gosh, so this is actually like I have to follow these rules and these steps. And that was making me nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, what if I forget something,
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, these are just like ideas. They're like, these are just ideas. If you don't do them, it's fine. But just try to be. It was a song that's very como like movidita. It's a very like a happy song.
Mhm.
Like if you forget something that was in the guideline, it's fine. Just don't make yourself look nervous because it's a very happy, moving song. So I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, rehearsals, I remember like I was like, oh my gosh, like there's gonna be this many people. There were so many benches, and I was freaking out. I was like, no, it hit me literally like 2 hours before I was gonna go on. It was barely hitting me bad, like really bad. Because I mean, I was nervous whenever they gave me, that opportunity to sing. They're like, okay, yeah, if you want to sing, you can sing in this campaign. But if you don't, tell us now. And I was like, okay, I do want to do it. I'm a little nervous, but I do want to do it. Then I was just preparing myself. I was, singing in the mirror, looking at myself with my like expression, seeing what I could do with my hands and movements and blah blah blah. But yeah, it like literally hit me bad 2 hours before. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm panicking. And I told one of my friends because he was there helping me and like telling me, okay, this looks cool what you're doing, but you should add more movement to this little part, blah blah. Okay, cool. So we went over like 4 times, and then yeah, I remember I was like, oh my gosh, is there really going to be this many people? Like this is really scary. And no, just for I don't know, forget about everything. Whenever you go on stage, don't even look at the audience, just look up to the sky. I was like, oh my gosh, that's just scary. But I did it, and honestly, I felt like whenever I was on stage, I did look at the audience, and I saw that they were like moving with me and singing with me. So it was kind of like, it was a good feeling. I don't know.
It's
It's fun.
definitely comforting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely comforting when you can like look at the audience and get like reception that it's going okay. Because I could only imagine how intimidating and how nervous that can be. And so you mentioned something that was like kind of interesting to me as well. Like you talked about like practicing your hand movements and stuff. And I always thought hands were so awkward. Like anytime I'm like speaking or talking and stuff, like I always find like where to put my hands is really freaking awkward. Like sometimes like you can't like stand like a robot and like all firm and stuff. But sometimes it gets really hard to like make some natural like once you get because I get in my head sometimes too much and I'm like, okay, so what are you doing with your hands? And it's like, am I being awkward in my hands? Am I moving them too much? Am I moving them not enough? So I can only imagine like once you're like actually singing, or if that becomes more difficult, or is it like maybe it just kind of all flows together?
Like with me, I feel like I can't tell myself, okay, you're gonna have to do this hand gesture or this body movement in this specific lyric or this specific verse or something like that. I can't tell myself that because I know for sure I won't do it. I just have to let everything flow naturally and just connect myself with what I'm singing, and with whatever I'm singing, like just let my body do whatever it wants to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if I was given a guideline, I didn't follow anything. I kind of just let myself do whatever whenever I was on stage. And I was like, okay, I went blank. I was like, I don't remember what they told me, but I'm just gonna let my body loose and connect with what I'm singing. Cause I feel like that's like with you, whenever you're giving a speech and something, you have to kind of think about, okay, what you're actually saying. And with what you're actually saying is how your body naturally just does things. Even if it's once you think about, oh my gosh, am I doing this too much? Am I not doing this too much, like how you mentioned, I feel like that's when you start getting a little bit nervous and
Yeah.
you start overthinking about it, and it gets out of hand, and then you actually transmit that energy and
Yeah.
that feeling that you have to the audience. So then they're seeing that, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's kind of like something I had to learn, um not to get so nervous. I mean, getting nervous is normal,
Mhm.
but yeah, just to control it, because then the audience feels what you feel.
Yeah, learning how to like live with it. And I that's actually like really interesting too, because like I think probably one of the best moments is once you're like feeling natural, like once you're able to like not necessarily like you said, you didn't follow those guidelines, but I'm sure like you had a really good experience while you were doing it. You're like, this feels right. And
Yeah,
I definitely had those moments too where like you're going off script, you're doing like something completely different, but like it's so natural and it feels good, and like the audience is liking it and stuff. So you go with it. And I think that makes for some of the best moments. And then I think that helps you grow too, because then okay, so this is what I can do, this is what I can play with. Because if you're right, like if you think about like, okay, in this lyric I have to do this hand motion or something, like then like me, honestly, all I would think about is like getting to that lyric so I could do that hand motion. And then like I wouldn't
yeah.
every
And then if yeah, exactly. And then when you do, because it's happened to me before, I'm telling you, because I've had horrible experiences with that. So it's like I know. Yeah, it's definitely happened to me before. And when I do it, it's just so awkward. And it's like, oh my gosh, I just shouldn't have done it, honestly, you know? So it's yeah, it's kind of just let your body loose. And
but we learn along the way too. Like we've had some like pretty bad experiences, but we have to have sometimes the bad experiences to be able to know to appreciate like the mediumly well experiences and then the good experiences. Like
oh, for sure.
we've all had the bad moments. Like I said, I almost cried my first speech and I spoke for like 30 seconds, and the rest of the time I was silent, and then the judge was like, all right, we're gonna stop it here before you embarrass yourself more. um
Yeah.
and you kind of grow from that. And like I said earlier, like it's interesting to look back and say, dang, we've come a long way. um Speaking of coming a long way, like you're pretty popular. um Perhaps not like A-list celebrity type yet, but like what's your experience with social media? Like at first having like high school friends following, and then like now having like a lot of people because of your music.
Um, it's been pretty just weird, I guess. I don't know. I feel like whenever I didn't have like that following, the following that I have now, it was more like I wouldn't even stress about what I would post, you know? I feel like now it's kind of it can get very overwhelming. And I know it's people are gonna be, people are probably gonna say, oh, it's just a picture. But I don't know, to me, a picture, whatever I post, I want it to be, you know,
Genuine.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I guess that too, because I just don't always want it to be like, okay, I don't know how to explain it. It's definitely very different.
Like maybe set to like a different standard.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not only posting for me, I'm posting for like my audience. So I can't just post whatever, you know? And I remember like when I had 900 followers or 800 or less, just my friends. I remember it just wasn't a big deal to me. I would literally post whatever. I would post
Yeah.
stuff from like, I would even post like what I was eating and like pictures. And I mean, those are okay pictures still. Like if you post a picture with you eating whatever, a bowl of fruit and stuff, it could be a cute picture, But like I didn't care as much, and I wouldn't really be like, oh my gosh, my nose looks horrible here, or my lips look weird, my smile is not the best here. And I feel like that has changed now, because I'm like looking at every single detail.
Mhm.
And just yeah, it could be a good and a bad thing, because sometimes you judge yourself too much, and there's been pictures that I'm like, no, I'm not going to post them, because I feel like it's gonna get a bad comment, or people are just gonna be like, no, she looks horrible. Um, but just, I don't know. I just send them to my mom, or I send them to my sister, and I ask for their opinions. And yeah, so it's just it in that perspective, it has been very hard, I guess. Yeah.
Having, I guess, having that like family support, like your mom or your sister, I'm sure that helps a lot too. Because I'm nowhere near popular or famous or anything. And like I can, like some of the stuff you said still resonates even then. What I thought was interesting that you said was like you were posting for yourself, and now you're posting for your audience. Do you ever wish that you just like had your own account? Maybe you do, I'm not sure. Where you could like just post your own things, or like maybe you move to a different social media platform to keep your personal stuff more personal with friends. Um, yeah.
That's funny. That's funny that you ask, because I do have a personal account. I still don't post as much in my personal account. I have like what, 30 followers, but I just feel like with this whole social media stuff, even with those 30 followers, it's still not, if I post something that's, embarrassing or whatever, they might take a screenshot of it
Uh,
and then post it later on, with whatever happens, and it's just going to be there forever. So it's kind of just like I can't really post anything I want to anymore, because I have to be super careful. Even if I'm with a friend and I'm like I don't know, if I want to go to a bar and have a couple of drinks and just
mhm.
like have a girls' night out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something normal. We don't have to get like wasted or anything. Just something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Calm. Um, I still have to be very careful with that, because um, just people can take it out of context and say post, if they, I don't know, if they see me like with even with like a glass in my hand, I don't know, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're drinking now, you're so young, you're not even supposed to be drinking. I don't know, it's just like things like that that I start thinking about, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I can't post nothing, because I'm just so like,
No, I
yeah.
completely understand. So like I asked you about social media, and hopefully it's like not too uncomfortable to talk about, but like so I asked you about social media because like I think there's this like misconception when people get like famous and popular, like, oh, what do they have to complain about? Like, oh, what do they have to worry about? They're famous, they're this and that. And it's like, well, no, I mean, we're still regular people. You're still a regular person that like has things you want to do and like wants to have a private life to a certain extent. So I always found that interesting. Like sometimes it's really difficult to do the things you want to do because of like social media and stuff. Um, I would like to bring that more into context in general and not say, well, of course they're doing like really great things, they're doing really fun things, but like they want to have time with themselves. I think that's like really sad in some ways that a celebrity doesn't have that. Um, but I mean, there's like two sides of it because like then it's nice to have fans that like see you out in public and stuff. I think one thing that was really interesting was like I heard that Michael Jackson once like rented out a grocery store because like he was always popular from like being a little kid up until when he passed away, that like he never had to go grocery shopping, so like he never had that experience, so like he rented out a grocery store and like paid people to act as shoppers so he could have the whole experience. And I think about that and it's like, okay, yeah, he's living this really great life, but like some of the basic things like he has no idea, like he probably never pumped his own gas or something, you know.
Yeah, wow.
About how like I mean people get famous but they're still people, and I think it's really annoying and really wrong to judge people like that way.
It is definitely. And dang, that, I don't know, that with that situation with Michael Jackson, wow, that's crazy. That's not, I don't know. I just feel like people should have, celebrities should have like that, a little bit of privacy. And I know it's, everyone can say the same thing, like, oh, y'all need to respect boundaries, y'all need to like respect their privacy and blah blah. But in a way, I mean, I get it. They're just, yeah, they're normal people, but I mean, yeah, they are putting themselves out there, and they're like influencers, and
Mhm.
people look up to them. People want to take pictures with them and stuff. But yeah, with that whole needing, respect boundaries, I definitely, like, I stand for that, because I'm like, Jesus, yeah, they're just like me, and they're human, they have feelings,
Yeah.
and sometimes they might not be having a great day. And if you go up to that person and you want a picture or something, and they're like, okay, yeah, whatever, and they don't give you that good energy that you see online, it's kind of like it brings you down. And I've seen it before. Like, I've seen fans of whatever celebrities start posting negative stuff about them. Like, yeah, I took a picture. I saw a YouTube video of like Billie Eilish or something like that. And they were like, yeah, I remember when I went to go meet her, she was so rude and all this stuff. Oh my gosh, she's not like that in like the videos that I seen of her. And like, it was, I don't know. I was just kind of like, dang, like you really can't, when you're really exposed like that, you really can't have a bad day, or else, a whole bunch of negative people are going to start attacking you and going at you, and just, yeah, it must be very hard for
Yeah, so like
those people.
especially with like Billie Eilish, because like she's young like us, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, right now I'm thinking about finishing college and all this stuff. So like I can't even imagine like someone my age, like the stuff they're like trying to go through as being popular and stuff, and being in like a celebrity and an influencer and stuff. But like you said, like maybe that person was like the 200th person in line to take a picture with her. And like after a show and you take 200 pictures, you're like, I kind of want to go home, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you didn't get your idea of Billie Eilish because she was like literally worn out because she's a human. Um, so yeah, that respecting boundaries and stuff. And also I think we use a lot of people use social media for a lot of bad stuff too. And I always hate that. Like it's always super annoying to see, well, oh yeah, well, she wasn't like that when I met her. So like now I'm gonna talk bad about it. Like, okay, like maybe that experience wasn't for you. Like maybe what happened there was like off. Like it doesn't necessarily like allow you to go online and then post things about people.
Yeah. um I agree. There's actually been quite a few people who've sent me horrible messages and have told me, you know, why can't you respond to me? You think like you're this big person now, but I remember I was following you and you had 2,000 followers, and when you were like nothing. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm like, but they were like, yeah, you weren't even in music industry whenever I was following you, and now you can't like even respond to my messages. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, that this is why I don't respond, because you're
Yeah.
just being kind of like rude. um and I honestly do. I reply to literally anyone who swipes up to my story and like, or asks me questions. Even if I don't post, you know how you can post like the questionnaire little thingy? Even if I don't post them, sometimes I actually send them messages privately if they're not like inappropriate or anything. If I want to answer it privately, I will send them a message. I'll be like, hey, like I'm answering your question through DM because I just don't feel like posting it in
Mhm.
public. And that's how I answer them. I feel like that's a smart way to just not really expose it out there to whatever person's asking. Um, if it's more like in the private private zone. But yeah, it's very, social media has definitely changed a lot, and it's I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons to it.
Yeah,
It
there's
gives you, yeah, because social media, I mean, it's not always a bad thing. It gives you, that freedom to express your creativity and like, post whatever you want to post. And if there's a lot of people that are known for like crazy things, and
yeah.
talented people that have, these just different talents that you're just like, wow, what the heck? I want to learn how to do that. You know what I mean? And yeah, and I think that's so cool to see that, on any kind of platforms. Oh my gosh, this person, look at him, and especially TikTok. Like there's so many TikTokers that are just very talented, and not only just for dancing, but there's so many creative people on that app that it's so cool. I don't know, like I don't know. It's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun to see.
we get to see stuff that probably we would never see without social media. Like you said, like there's a lot of talented people, and like there's no way I would have known about all these talented people if it wasn't for TikTok, because TikTok is so random at times. Or like
Yeah.
even keeping up with friends or meeting new friends and stuff. As long as there's like a healthy boundary there as well, you know, like keeping up with friends and stuff too. But you're right, like also TikTok. Do you use TikTok? I'm sure you like
I
post like music videos or something. I'm not sure.
I do have a TikTok. I'm not active at all on there. I mean, I watch other people's videos, but I don't really post. I used to post, just dancing or whatever. Because I mean, I love dancing, but I just kind of just deleted every single video I had on my account because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing with this app. Like I like singing, but I haven't even posted anything about my music on this app. I'm posting dancing videos. Like people were just confused. Well, it was just one person who told me. It was my cousin. Or like, wait, why aren't you posting like your singing videos on TikTok? And I was like, I don't know. So I was like, I'm gonna delete everything. He's right. What am I even doing with this app?
Well, like it helps. Like I don't know, TikTok I found is like really good at like getting a lot of exposure, but also like I mean it's up to you. It's the way you have a relationship with that app. So like if you don't, there's nothing wrong with it. Like and like I see how that is really difficult like on Instagram and stuff because you're like okay like now I'm posting for an audience and that's really difficult to like maintain and stuff. Um
Mhm.
so like I can see TikTok and like I can't even begin to think about or like understand how difficult it is to like handle Instagram and stuff like that like once you get popular. So like I definitely give you credit for that. Because I must be really really stressful to think about like okay like you said like do I how do I look in this picture, like what features or am I okay with, not okay with, and like it's also like really unhealthy sometimes too to say like okay this picture is not good for this one little thing when it's like a really good picture or something. So I can't even
Yeah.
about because like I do it on a small scale when like I post a picture of myself or something or with my friends I'm like oh I didn't come out good in that picture. But like I can't imagine then sharing it to an audience that big and like all that entails.
Yeah, it can be very stressful at times, especially with like trying to keep, the people that do support you, trying to keep them like updated with things. I feel like that's what I've struggled with the most ever since I started like my music career. Because there has been times where, I just go for days without posting any type of content on my stories, or I don't even post a picture, nothing. I just don't want to be on social media. Um, and it's because of that reason as well, just seeing negative comments and just, overthinking about dumb stuff that I shouldn't even be overthinking about. And it's kind of just like, oh, I just want to stay away. I don't want to post nothing. I just don't want to stress over if it's going to get views or not. It's little things like that that shouldn't be, something that it shouldn't be important things that you should worry about. Um, but as in like even if you're a YouTube influencer or, makeup artist or the singer, songwriter, or musician or whatever, if you have if you have a big audience and stuff, there's gonna be people who are going to worry about you and they'll be like, hey, what, you're not posting anymore, what's going on, we need an update. But yeah, there's just gonna be days where it's like, no, I just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just kind of want to live. So speaking of like updates and stuff, um do you have anything like exciting coming up? I'm sure you have a lot of exciting stuff coming up, but like anything like you'd be able to share or not? Like, is it all like, I don't know, is it like all kind of like, okay, I have to keep it quiet until like this video comes out or this song comes out, but like, are you working on anything right now?
I'm definitely working on a couple of things. there's some things that I am not allowed to say due to because of like my record labels.
Mhm.
They're, they're not gonna let me say it. But I'm working on, making lots more music, possibly a album.
Ooh.
I haven't even told anybody that. I haven't even told my sisters. Oh my gosh, I need to tell them. I'm telling you, there's sometimes where I don't even want to text anybody, and
Yeah.
it's not always like the healthiest thing, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's what I've been working on. Just more music, honestly, in different genres, not just, yeah, we're kind of experiencing a little bit of everything right now. It's really fun.
I think that's good too. Like trying out different genres. 'Cause, like eventually someone will like something in a certain album or something. Um, but also like I don't know if like you should necessarily, and don't take like advice from me, right? But like I don't think you should necessarily worry too much about like sometimes needing some time off and like not texting people and not telling people. Like sometimes we need to like recharge that battery and like just kind of step away, kind of like we talked about too. So um and then sometimes it's exciting to then like hold stuff in and then like do like a big announcement like, oh hey, I'm working on a brand new album, I'm working on collaborations with like so and so artists and stuff. It like it gets people like really excited to come back and to listen to an update or something from you too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, there's just it sucks because sometimes I just get into my head and there's people that, actually care for me that I don't know, now that I'm thinking about it, it's just like dang, it's kind of sad because even like with even my sisters, even sometimes they always check up on me and I see their messages, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like I know they want an update as well, because
Mhm.
I can't always talk to them, right? So it's like, I just don't feel like talking today. And yeah, they get worried too. They're like, hey, what's going on? You haven't called us, blah blah. Is everything okay? And then I eventually call them back. I'm like, yeah, it's just, one of those weeks or whatever, days or that, you just feel like, ugh, feel like crap and you don't want to talk to anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all have those weeks, and like it's sometimes, like you said, there's a lot of pressure, like keeping up social media and stuff. Like we all have those weeks where we're just like out of, or days where we're out of social energy. Like, okay, I've like talked to so many people today. I just like I'm done, like, or I'm like I'm, or whatever reason, like I'm just not feeling it this week. And like that's perfectly human and perfectly natural. Um, like I guess if I could like get anything out of this talk, it would be that like we're all human and maybe we sometimes are too hard on ourselves and like other people are too hard on us and sometimes in a way we're too hard on other people, whether that's
Yeah.
a person or social media or whatever it may be.
Yeah, you're so right. I don't know, it's a crazy world we live in and yeah, but I guess you just have to live with it. I mean, if you're in like I keep bringing this up, but if you're like a social creator or whatever, influencer, whatever, if you're just exposing yourself out there, you kind of just have to deal with those consequences because I mean, and just make something positive out of it as well. I mean, it's not always negative, there's people who care to see what's next, there's always people that, oh my gosh, what's next, like what is she working on, what is he, planning to do, what is he doing right now, I'm just curious, whatever. So it's kind of cool to have people, that are actually interested in what you're doing, that's a positive side to how you can look at it. um but yeah, it's just like I said, there's pros and cons,
I
and
think
there's just pros
good.
and cons to everything, literally.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think it's a journey, like moving out of your state, moving out of home, moving out of like your immediate mom and dad, sister, siblings, family, and like going to a different state, going to Mexico, which I'm sure you were already kind of familiar with, but like now like actually moving there is like completely different. So like
Oh,
there's
yes.
a lot of like learning, and it's like all part of a journey. And overall, I hope like it's been going well. It looks like it's going well. And like don't worry too much if like some days are just like really rough and some weeks are really rough, because it happens and we're human. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's been very, very different. Over here, it's like it's you can't compare the two. Honestly, here is just a whole different environment. And especially with the language, I mean, uh I grew up actually talking more English than Spanish. So I do have like that, like little accent in Spanish. That everyone makes fun of me for, but it's like it's whatever. I don't care. Uh, but yeah, I'm still learning. There's like a couple of words that sometimes I'm like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
what the heck are they saying? But I just literally I've learned that I need to ask what it means and not just be like, okay, because I'm just embarrassing myself. And if I don't know what it is, then I'm never going to learn what it is.
Yeah, I grew up like same. I mean, my all my family does is speak English or Spanish, sorry. And I've always spoke English and I translated for them and stuff. And then like because I speak English so much now, there are some words that like maybe sometimes I forget, or like when I'm speaking to someone like my cousins from Mexico, like they have a completely different lingo and stuff. Like they use different words and I'm like, okay, hold on a minute, like what's that? What's that? Like I know
Yeah.
Spanish, but some of these words I don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes it's difficult. Like I think people forget when you're bilingual, you like know two different worlds and like two completely different worlds.
Oh, yeah.
English and Spanish are just so different. They're similar, but they're so different sometimes too.
Yeah. Especially like with the, I guess you could say slang. Very, very different. I feel like I just don't fit in because honestly, I don't have a lot of friends here. I hardly go out. It's always only when I'm working on, projects and stuff that I am going out and like meeting new people. But it's always like just working. It's not outside of work where I'm like going out with friends and stuff like that. I usually just go out with my cousins because I feel more comfortable with my cousins
Mhm.
because I'm scared to make new friends because I just feel like over here they're little jokes and like yeah, I guess yeah, the slang is just completely the humor here is just different and I just always feel left out because I'm like, what the heck does that mean? I don't understand.
And then like the slang is different too, like from different like parts of like even the city maybe, or like the area or the state itself, like it's different. Whereas I mean I guess we have that here in Texas as well. Like we each have like a little southern or different kind of style of speaking. But I think in Mexico too, like we grow up using different words sometimes. Like sometimes I'm talking to my friends in Spanish and I use a word and they're like, wait, what's that? And it's like, oh, you don't say that over there.
Yeah.
I grew up saying it all the time. Like my family says this word. I couldn't even think of one to mind now, but like just even to, I guess I'm from Monterrey, and like even someone else I know from there, and like we're talking and like we don't understand some words that we're saying. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like every state, country, or whatever, they have their own little like way of just connecting with each other. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it's very different. I feel like it's different everywhere, but everyone has like their own unique little slangs and stuff. Also with music, I don't know. I feel like I prefer 100% more to sing in Spanish than English. I don't know. And I struggle a little bit with my pronunciation, but I don't know. I love it. I've always loved it. I prefer to sing in Spanish than any other language. Um, because English, I don't know, it's very different also like with
Mhm.
music. It's not, and I never realized it until I actually got into singing classes. that there's two, it's like you're seeing two completely different languages, you
Mhm.
know? And yeah, I don't know. But it's very cool. I like singing both, but yeah, I prefer Spanish, 100%.
Yeah, because there's different dynamics. Like I don't sing, but I like play the guitar as a hobby, and like there's just different dynamics. Like I would much rather prefer to play in Spanish or like Spanish music as well. Just 'cause, like it has a different feel that like English music doesn't have. Not that English music is bad. Like some of my favorite music and some of my favorite bands and stuff are in English. But there is a completely different feeling too. Like the way you strum the guitar, the way they enunciate the words, the way the words just flow so smoothly and stuff. Like there's so much in Spanish music that I always prefer. Um, but I mean, I don't know. Do you like singing in another language? Maybe have you tried I don't know, French or something?
No, there was this one song that I saw on TikTok and it was in French and it was so beautiful. I don't know. I fell in love with it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful song. I tried to learn it, but I just like I don't have a lot of patience.
Mm,
I was like, no, I can't. It's so beautiful. It was like a I think it was like a Disney song or something. And you know how like the Disney songs and like the princess movies and stuff,
mhm.
they have like this like what's in the Cinderella movie, like there's so many beautiful songs that are just different. Like you don't really hear them. Like, you don't really hear people in in live singing these kind of songs. It's
Gotcha.
like songs from like years and years ago, you know? Um and yeah, this one girl, she's from France. She sang it in French and I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. And I was like, how, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't. And yeah, but it was really cool. It was
I
really
had a
cool. Trying to learn it, I
friend
guess.
that I had a friend that was learning how to sing a song in Chinese, I think. And like I can only imagine how hard that is when you
Wow.
only know English and a little bit of Spanish. Because like the dynamics there are completely different too. But I have noticed playing maybe I don't know, like maybe some kind of Asian or like even Japanese music. Like I've tried to play some stuff on the electric guitar. Like it's also completely different than what we're used to. And I think honestly that kind of helps us artistically, maybe, because then you think about things in a different way. Like, oh, okay, this country does or this culture does music differently. And I always like to see that kind of like blend. That's what we were like when we were talking about earlier. Like you may do an album with like different styles. Like I love seeing that blend. And like artists like trying out new things and like figuring out like what works and what they like. Cause like you could be you could be a ranchero singer. You could be like just sing norteñas or something, right? And like
Mhm.
you're known for, but like you may like actually like I don't know Spanish rap or something, like something completely different. You might like hardcore rock or something, like that's what you actually like. But like you got famous or popular singing this, so this is what you do.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, since I'm just now starting out, I mean, we have what, since I released my first single in December, we've kind of just, it's been, we've been just releasing different kinds of music genres. And I feel like it's been very fun actually, because I'm still trying to find myself.
Mhm.
That's exactly why we've been just trying to discover new music as well. Because I feel like, it's really cool whenever like me, I like seeing my favorite artists sing in a different genre that, that they're not known for. It's so, I don't know, it's just beautiful because they add their own little touch to, you know, like who? Let me think of somebody. Demi Lovato or
Mhm.
even Billie Eilish. She's
Yeah.
right now. She's freaking. She's like she's at her peak right now. And she has like this unique voice. I'm a big fan of her.
Mhm.
Um, she has like this unique voice, and just hearing her sing, you know, other than her music, singing like covers of other artists, it's really cool. It's so interesting because it's like, wow, she's, she adds her own little touch to it. It's cool.
I've seen some of her covers, and like she does some really good covers too. And also like thinking about like Spanish artists that do that, like maybe like Cristian Nodal that's been doing a
Mhm.
lot of stuff that's like outside of his genre, or even gosh, it just left me. I was thinking about someone else, but like someone like him that's like known for doing a specific type of music, and then he's like branching out and doing other things. Um, I find that really interesting. And oh, I was thinking Ulises Chávez, I mean, but like some people will say, oh, that's just not him. Like he should stick to this.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, that's he's branching out. Like you said, like you're finding yourself, like you're experimenting with stuff you like, and it's like, I don't know, it goes back to that whole judging thing. Like we should probably just let people experience and like try to find themselves wherever that leads
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, exactly. And there's definitely going to be songs that are just not going to be, a hit. And I'm not just saying this for myself. I'm saying this for like any other upcoming artists, like Olivia Rodrigo. She's also hitting hard right now. Like she's doing incredible things. I've seen her old videos and they weren't, they weren't big deal or whatever, but they were wow, like she just has an amazing voice. And she did so many covers that I was just like, wow, this girl, she's so talented, and now they have her as like alternative rock, alternative rock star. And it's like, she can sing other genres. She doesn't necessarily have to be in that specific, oh yeah, she has to be known for this. No, she has that like potential to sing any other kind of songs she wants to. And yeah, I mean, she's rocking it. She's doing great.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah.
so one of my favorite bands, Linkin Park, that one in the middle back there.
Oh yeah.
Was watching an interview with one of the artists in the band, and they were asking him like, so how do you anticipate trends? Like how do you write an album and like know it's going to become popular? Like how do you, like right now, if alternative rock is like really popular right now, like how do you make an alternative rock album that sounds good? And then he said like it's really hard to do because when you like start making an album, sometimes the album doesn't release until like a year later or like 8 months later or something. So like by that time that trend already passed or something. And I think sometimes we're like too hard on musicians because like, okay, you saw that this trend was going on like a year ago and that's when you started doing it, but like once your album released, like that trend passed, but you made the song and you like it, and then like you release an album and or they release an album and it's like, oh, that's old music, but it's like it's new to them and stuff. Like I don't know, we should give it more of a chance.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, that's so crazy. That's so true. That's so true. Oh my gosh, I'm over here like, dang. Yeah, he's right. I guess, you know, again, the people who actually write their own music and stuff, I feel like it just has to be something natural. I mean, you don't have to think about, is this going to be a hit song? Is this going to be trending? Is this going to be good enough for people?
Mhm.
Because even if it's, you know, a song that not a lot of people like, if you like it, that's fine. Like there's songs that I've released, covers and stuff that, even I have family members that are like, okay, well, yeah, it's nice or whatever, but it's not my style. I don't know. I don't really like that genre, but it's do your thing. That's what they've told me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's fine. I know not everyone's gonna like my music and or how I sing, and I can't please the whole world or whatever. Whoever my supporters, even if some people, like, I love the people who are supporting me, but not everyone is gonna, even if, how do I explain this? Even if you're supporting me with my music, you're not gonna like everything I'm posting. And I know that because I don't know. I've had this one girl, she told me that she's supporting me and stuff because she likes what I do, but not all of the songs that I release are like her kind of style of music that she likes, which was really awkward. Now I'm thinking about it. That was a very awkward conversation. But I was like, okay, thank you for your opinion. Honestly, like, and if there's a song that you would like for me to cover, like let me know and I will definitely cover it for you. And I feel like it'd be fun as well, you know? And yeah, it's just kind of like let yourself do whatever you want kind of thing.
Right, because like I can think of different like artists and bands and stuff that are like my favorite, and I don't like everything they've put out, but at the same time, like you said, like when you're writing your own music and it's original and stuff, I think when the audience sees that, or at least for me, right, like when I see someone doing like original music and they're just like they're themselves and they're enjoying it and they're like, grooving with it, and like the music is just right and their vocals are themselves, I'm like, okay, maybe like I'm not into this genre or something, but like, okay, I really like this, like as a piece of art, like as a piece of music, I really like this, and like I'll listen to it. But I mean, you're right, we can't, it would be almost impossible to like create an album that everybody likes, because I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think any musician or artist has ever done that. So there's that
Mhm.
pressure too. But I don't want to take up too much of your time. Is there anything like you would like to add as like a closing remarks or something?
Um, sorry, someone just sent me a message. Just for people to be positive and be themselves and stay creative because social media would not be fun without people's creativeness. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I agree too. Like social media is like all about creativity. So like don't let a couple of bad comments like try to ruin that creativity, because like at the end of the day, like we get on social media for like creativity to see what people are doing and stuff. So it's rough out there, but there's also like good supporters and there's also good people rooting for you. And like not everybody's gonna like everything, but as long as
Yeah.
you're doing original stuff, then I think you're headed in the right direction. I can't wait to see like what new music videos, what new music you have. I'm a really big supporter. You're doing great. When you get famous, then I can give you like a real interview. Um, we'll actually like be a little more popular with it. But for now, like, I enjoyed this conversation and talking about kind of like social media and music a lot. I like
Yeah.
music a lot, like from playing it and listening to it and like just helping me with stress and stuff. I think music's great. So I always appreciate when someone, kicks off and does something on their own and, like gets signed to a label or a company or something, because I think that's awesome. I'm excited for you. I know you're going to be really, really well as a musician and as a celebrity and stuff. So keep going.
Aw. Thank you. I
Of
will
course.
definitely hustle and do whatever I can do to
That's
make, just to make music and to make someone at least feel like they can connect to whatever I'm writing or singing.
and at the end of the day, like I think that's kind of what it's all about too, like connecting with people and like
Sure.
writing something that someone can relate to.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been a conversation about. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell for notifications. Anything else, I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.